All right. Hello and welcome, guys. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with a very nice replay. This was sent in not too long ago. It's actually part of the 3 million, I think, series. Ooh, can I not click on heroes? Oh, that's gonna be fun. All right, I'll I'll make it work. Number keys are doable, I guess, but yeah. So this is part of the 3 million or 3 whatever multiple it was series, a benchmark hit by Dota games. I think it's amazing that so many games have happened. And I look forward to bringing this one to you. It is going to be, for this time around, the Slark, played by Nick Jr. with 2 planes and 3 towers. Oh, come on the Crystal Maiden. Walk Lost on the Centaur with Paradox playing the Omni Knight. Sir Action Slacks, his favorite hero himself, and Bulbasaur. I guess the rejected Pokemon. He's going to be on the Weaver. Meanwhile, for the Dire, triggered on the Pudge with Moriarty playing the Legion Commander. I think that was like an Iron Chef at one point. Look it up if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Laganita will be playing the Lone Druid, hopefully a sniper-based Lone Druid this game, with Smiley Face on the Vengeful Spirit, and finally Robert on everyone's favorite hero, the Techies. I kind of like the Techies this game. Lots of squishy heroes aside from the Centaur being played by the Radiant. So anyone walking over those mine stacks will be in for a world of pain. Now, the issue with the Techies nowadays is that, well, you can't stack mines. You got to kind of hope that when they get hit by the first mine, they think, okay, I'm going to juke out the next couple of mines, and they walk right into it. The best thing you can do with mines at this point, I think, is to just use them as a laning tool. Make sure you can harass with them, you can last hit with them, but don't try AFKing all game and stacking them up because it's just not going to work that way. Granted, I think I've seen Techies layer the entire jungle with mines. It's kind of funny when it's just like polka dotted all over the damn place. Someone tries to walk, they try to juke, doesn't work out, and people die very quickly. It's almost cathartic if you're the Techies player, and incredibly rage-inducing if you're everyone else. So it's Moriarty against Walk Lost in the top lane. This is the lane that I think favors the Centaur a little bit early on, although the Legion should be able to get plenty of experience. The gold income for her is going to be tough because, well, if she tries to go in to get last hits, she's just going to get burned down by all the damage that Walk Lost can output. He does go for Return at level 1. If he had the Stomp, he probably could have gotten the kill, but Return is generally a good first skill just because you're trading hits a lot in the early game. Everyone has low damage. You've got a high HP pool, so you might as well. But in cases like that, that's where Stomp can come in handy. If you can get the Stomp and then the Double Edge, it's a lot of magical damage and it can amount in a pretty easy and early kill. He's actually going to continue going for it here. He just needs one more Double Edge, it seems. Goes in, but there is going to be the Fairy Fire. He needs one more hit, gets it off, but not before dying himself to the tower. Unfortunately, he gives up 140 gold to each member of the Dire, or the Radiant team. Right? No, I had it right. The Dire. And, well, the Legion gives all of the gold concentrated to Centaur. So Nick Jr. could be in a bit of trouble down here in the bottom lane. One of the troubles with Slark is he's so easy to harass in the early game before level 6. Just get all that damage on him, burn his regen, and then force him out of lane, cut his experience off, and you've got a Slark that's shut down. We're looking 2.5 minutes into this game. He is still level 2 as a result, I think, of this defensive tri-lane more than anything else. So this is really one of the best ways that the Dire could have run this as they go in. Stun out onto Paradox. He does not look to have Repel up. Nope, just Purify and Legion Aura. Nick Jr., however, is going to go for Robert. Walking over mines, Nick Jr. takes a fair amount of damage. The Smiley, actually, no, gets hit by the second mine. He will go down. Now the Crystal Maiden dropping very, very low. Paradox walking over a mine of himself. Smiley Face trying to go in for that kill. Can he seem to get it? He just needs 2 more last hits. One more maybe, but nope. Ends up dropping very low. Has to turn around and run as Nick Jr. back in the fray. Moving forward, just needs a pounce and a couple right clicks and gets the 2 of them off as Smiley Face does go down. Robert now in a bit of trouble. Drops a mine. If Paradox walks over, he is as good as dead. Oh, actually, he's going to get it. Oh, boy, just needs a hit. No, Repel comes out and no kill for him. So Centaur, meanwhile, taking a bit of damage from the top lane. Looks like Moriarty has burned through all of his mana, though. Walk Lost. What's gotta do is walk up. Looks like 3 points in return, so going purely for a trading hit build. If you're gonna do this, I think you need some sort of HP sustain in this lane, and typically Centaurs will go for the Tranquil Boots just because you can spam out the double edge and Tranquil up in between the fights, but there is going to be a suicide bottom lane. Nick Jr. goes down, so excellent play coming out from this offensive dual lane. Again, just turning it up on the Slark and making sure that he stays down. So, walk lost, struggling with his HP regen, is not going to be able to trade hits too effectively now, though Moriarty can't exactly attack him for fear of the return damage. It's kind of a double-edged sword here, pardon the pun, for this top lane. Neither one can really engage on the other. Walk lost with a second Tango, though. I really think he needs to get that 1 point in the stomp, but it looks like at level 6 he'll probably go in for the ult. The one benefit of this build is you never have to use mana. So, take that how you will. Paradox. Oh, I am using the wrong hotkeys. There we go. Paradox trying to go in for this kill. There are 2 mines close by. Robert, very low. Once he got the suicide back up, it looks like he's got it now, so Smiley Face is just going to have to bait him in, and then Robert can do the rest. Moves in, there's a charge, there's a deny, and lots of damage coming out to all 3. Smiley Face may even get all 3 of these kills. Needs to pop out. Does he have anything resembling a magic missile? Oh, well, that kind of didn't work. That's the problem with not being able to click on heroes. Regardless, they do get this the Slark kill with an amazing hook from Triggered. Excellent play from the Pudge, rotating in for that kill. Speaking of rotations, looks like Crystal Maiden gonna make a rotation up to the top lane as she spots a low Legion Commander. But with walk loss coming back in, looks like regen up from the fountain, or shrine, I guess. We'll move in, the return damage, clearing up creep waves rather quickly, and not really in a position to tank tower. If he was, you could just walk up to the tier 1 and watch it burn, but without the Tranquil Boots, he's not going to be able to regen up the damage the tower will do, so at this point I think he's got to play it safe and wait for a hero to come in within kill range and let the creeps deal with the tower. So lots of pressure on the bottom lane, Triggered and Bulbasaur going mano-a-mano in the mid lane, but neither one seems to have killed the other, or at least attempted to. We haven't seen a lot, actually, of Bulbasaur this entire game, despite being a Weaver with amazing gank potential. All you need is a TP scroll, go in Scoochie, and the damage output from a Weaver early game, an over-leveled Weaver that is ginormous. But he'll hang in the middle lane and use this time to get a lot of golden experience so that he's not just over-leveled, he's overpowered. A suicide in, but Nick Jr. moves himself away just in time to avoid the wide AoE of that damage, and so Robert and Smiley won't get this kill just yet, though. Magic Missile out. There is Earth Purify, and Nick Jr. will survive the follow-up right-click, but only just barely. As the top lane, Lagunitas moving in. He wants to bring down this Crystal Maiden, but can't seem to do so. The Centaur now in a little bit of trouble, but they cannot catch up. There we go. Can't catch up to this, so they won't be able to lock him in place with any roots. Though they did pop out the Stampede, so that's going to keep that on cooldown for 70 more seconds, as Smiley Face and Robert moving again to the bottom lane, vying for another kill. Robert has his launch up, charging it. They move in for Nick Jr. Cannot get the kill, once again missing as he leaps out of the AoE. And of course, the Magic Missile getting purified off, and purged off is the word I was looking for. Duel, top lane, not going to get the dual damage, but still will get the kill. Triggered actually brings down Bulbasaur in the mid lane. That's one that I wasn't expecting. 2 planes, 3 towers, also going to go down, and Triggered will stay alive for the time being. Moves in towards the fountain, should be able to regen right back up. Robert and Smiley on the bottom lane, still putting in this immense amount of damage towards this Slark, who does seem to have level 6. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, he's got level 6, so he will be regenerating most of this back up. Still, There's a lot of damage coming out from the mines. He's got to be very careful because they can burst him down, even if he pops a Dark Pact. If they can get him with some of that AoE damage from the launch, then they still would be able to nab the kill. Oh, that's not... My apologies, guys. The tower taking good amounts of damage. Robert and Smiley are not able to close the deal yet. So 2 planes, 3 towers will move in for this one. Smiley face goes. There is the launch, but Robert dropping very low now. He should actually go down here. Unfortunate for the Slark. There is a mine that does get dropped, though, which brings down the Crystal Maiden. But Robert having a little bit of trouble with that engagement. Now, walk lost. Looks like he wants to make a move up to the top lane. Lagunitas is just way too close, though. So any attempt would be met with possibly a swift counter initiation. Triggered in the meantime. Push out the mid lane as it looks like Bulbasaur looking for his first gank of the day. They want to bring down Moriarty, who's now in a bit of trouble. The return out. He pops out with the press the attack. It's healing him up just enough, but in comes the Slark. Didn't even need him. Walk loss gets him with the double edge. Moriarty does end up dropping. Wow. It's actually the TP from... Okay, no. Triggered will not try to take that engagement. A smart play from him. So Robert and Smiley will continue putting pressure on the bottom lane. Trying to bring this tower down once and for all. A TP in from Bulbasaur, though. This could be trouble. Dare I say, the bubble trouble from the Weaver. Upson Robert going to drop down a mine. He's got his launch, so maybe if he can time it correctly, he can get the suicide off if they go on him. Moriarty's close by, though. They know they've got the damage to secure a duel win. They just need to find the right target. Triggered is even making his way down to the bottom lane now. This tower very low, could go down very quickly and leave a couple of Radiant heroes out of position. That's the 4th now that TP's in. We're going to erupt in a 4v4 engagement as Robert moves in with the remote mines, trying for the launch. Can't seem to get it off. Gets it! Gets the kill on 3 planes, or 2 planes, 3 towers, and also gets himself the deny. Moving now, Moriarty in a bit of trouble, but the hook back. Nick Jr. down from the mines. And Paradox in a bit of trouble. Moriarty moving in. Oh, come on. The hook back. I really got to take this down. Moriarty now moving in as Triggered. Gets the kill on the Bulbasaur. It's actually Smiley Face to get the kill, but Triggered facilitates with an amazing hook. Now moves in. Gets the hook on Paradox. Will repel himself, but the damage is evaded by Triggered. Now repels and TPs, but they've got the swap. Stun through the BKB, or the repel, rather, the magic immunity. And they get another kill. This engagement from the Dire has just been so effective on the bottom lane. There's going to be a stampede, though, into the mid lane. Unfortunately, walk lost. Going to have a bit of trouble trying to stay alive through this one. So Lagunitas in the top lane. Doing the thing that the lone druids tend to do. Bulbasaur looking to go toe-to-toe with the lone druid. He'll pop in, try to evade some damage with his ult. If he can get it one more time, actually gets the root. Though the time lapse from Bulbasaur, can Lagunita get away from this one alive? It's going to be rough. Does he have a Savage Roar? Come on. What? There we go. No, he did not have the Savage Roar, so rather unfortunate, but Lagunita will go down. Bulbasaur gets the kill. A hook back. They bring in Nick Jr. Get the kill with a duel win. Now 3 planes, 2 towers. Popping with the ult. They don't have a stun. Moriarty's going to go down here. Bit of a revenge, but the hook triggered. He's not done. Wants the Crystal Maiden. A repel will stop the damage from the rot. Triggered. Not going to be dissuaded just yet, though. He's got another hook very shortly. And he make this one work. If he can find the Crystal Maiden, that is another kill. But no, the TP comes through. Bulbasaur's moving in. Triggered with the Degen Auras in a bit of trouble. But they've got no! Paradox will steal the Invis Rune. The Crystal Maiden will come through. The hook back. Bulbasaur remote mine. But Robert now in a bit of trouble. Might look to try to get the suicide off with the launch. Goes for it. Gets it off. 3 kills. And a deny for the Techies. What a turn Oh boy, that one must have felt so good for the techies. Robert's actually been playing this one incredibly well this game too. I mean, techies post-patch, it's hard to get a read on the hero. I can't tell if he's been easier or harder to play. I would imagine harder because a lot of the same strategies that used to work with techies no longer work. He's been more of a battle hero now, with the side quest of maybe dropping a mine or two in their common gank paths. But the result is a techies that has a little bit more impact in the game itself. Unfortunately, it also results in less of this kind of shenanigan. I mean, he's dropping up stacks of remote mines, yeah, but it's not like he's gotten a ton of them down the swap back. 2 remote mines and the landmine, but smiley face in a bit of trouble. Remote mines are down. There is going to be a suicide. Remotes popped. Not enough damage. And, well, both will die. Of course, Robert's a suicide. Smiley ends up going down, though. So a decent play, but just not quite enough damage to make it work. So, wrap around from Triggered and Moriarty. They're making their way back behind the lines of the Radiant by their shrine. If Triggered can find a good hook and they get a duel off of it, this could work out very well, but they're going to move in very close to the tower sight range, and they drop a ward and end up not revealing themselves just yet. Walk loss, though, is low in the middle lane. Robert's close by, drops a landmine, but it's not going to be close enough to trigger the damage. So at the moment, he's just protecting the push path. Meanwhile, the rest will come through. The hook out from Triggered, just barely off the mark, but the right idea. Already moving in, he finds the courier, just needs one more hit. Gets the blink forward, courier, no! Oh, he did an A-click! Oh, and unfortunately, no, Moriarty, that does not work, so... The stomp, the double edge, Moriarty may go down here. Does he have another press to the attack? It looks like he does. He's trying to move away, but the Purify, and he sees the light and ends up walking towards it. Robert, meanwhile, going down for the first time in a while after a series of really good denies. There is going to be a Dark Pact off from Nick Jr., but he ends up falling victim to the right clicks of the Vengeful Spirit. Smiley Face now going to swap back with Triggered, who is able to absorb the damage a little bit better than the Vengeful Spirit. The Dismember onto the Crystal Maiden. One of the Crystal Maiden's worst nightmares, I feel, is Triggered. Now going toe-to-toe with Bubble and Paradox. Going to try to run away from this one as the remote mine gets, well, triggered. Another one to follow, but this Pudge just can't seem to survive through it all. The dynamic duo of Paradox and Bubbles who are getting away with murder and walking down to the south. Robert will make his move, though, TPing to the Shrine. Lagunitas is also close to this one. They've got the duel now onto the Omni Knight, but do they have enough damage? There is going to be the magic missile, but they can't seem to do it. No, maybe. Yes, no. No, he didn't get it off. Robert will get the deny or the launch off and get one kill, but Bubblesaur ends up going with a double. And then the overwhelming odds. Moriarty then pops in with the press of the attack. They just need Bubblesaur to get rooted. Maybe 2 planes, 3 towers. The bear is trying so hard. But with the Frostbite on the Lagunitas, he's going to drop to this one. He needs to pop his ult to try to evade some damage, but it can't seem to do so. There is going to be the Frostbite or the Crystal Nova, and now Moriarty ends up going down as well. I can't click on anything. I have no idea what that is. Oh, it looks like it's a Mithril Hammer. All right, with a little bit of flame coming from 2 planes and 3 towers, I guess somewhat deserved. No, actually, not deserved at all. Trash talk is never deserved unless you're the one dealing it first, which, unless I'm mistaken, I don't have anyone muted, so. What? Seriously? Whose Mithril Hammer was that? Did actually anyone have it picked up? No, they destroyed it, so I'm guessing maybe it was... Yeah, okay, it was Lagunitas. He's got the recipe for the Maelstrom, so I assume that's where it was going, and unfortunately it never got really to its destination. Or maybe it did, and then he dropped it. Nick Jr. now with a Shadow Blade. Moves around. Is he going to try to go for this one? He's got backup coming in really quickly. But this backup is spotted out with an Observer Ward. Paradox and Walk Lost are now moving directly into the site of Triggered and within hook range. It looks like they want to back off. They've found Nick Jr. Can they get the duel off? Not yet. Moriarty's going to just end up getting slowed by the Stampede. Now trying to run, but the Degenor actually gets the blink forward, and the hook back from Triggered, a little off the mark. Now our Guardian Angel is down. Triggered, hiding in the trees, moves out, but he's taking a lot of damage from Bulbasaur with the Frostbite. Does end up dropping. And Moriarty hiding in the trees for dear life. But fortunately for him, they're going to spot it. Does he have a TP? Does he have anything to get out of this one? No. Nick Jr. is going to move in, and that's unfortunate. So this team, Dire's side, is really crumbling after a fantastic, what it seemed like a fantastic early game. This dynamic duo of Robert and Smiley Face has become rather lackluster, as Robert now baiting them into the remote mines. He's got the pop off, trying to go for the suicide, but can't quite get it off. Walk Lost eating a lot of damage, but not going down. The Purify comes through. Triggered now moving in with the damage out from the Dismember, getting blocked out by the Repel. Now Triggered going down. Lagunitas in. Triggered is gone. Walk Lost is low, but not dead. The root onto Paradox. The duel onto Crystal Maiden, but it's not going to go through, as Moriarty now alone. Every single Dire hero teleporting to this Dire shrine, and none of them surviving. None of them getting kills either. The score is now tied up, and the Radiant are pulling this one, what seems to be out of thin air. The Magicians not revealing their secrets either. This was an incredibly good comeback. In fact, the Gravs, they agree with me. About 7,500 gold in advantage for the Dire team. Experience close at, okay, about 7,500 as well. Now Radiant pulling in a 10,000 plus experience lead and nearing 10,000 gold. Swap back, Walk Lost could be taking victim here, but he's got the pipe, he's got the Crimson Guard. Where the hell did he farm up all of this gold? I mean, how do you even do damage to this? It's incredible. All he needs is a Guardian Greaves, and you're literally not killing the Centaur. Ever. It's kind of reminiscent of a Darkseer, except Centaur's got the added bonus of not only taking no damage, but also returning quite a bit of it. So I agree with the Heart pickup just because it's got great sustain, it synergizes incredibly well with the return. So although it did say that a Greaves would be nice, at this point, anything can happen with the Centaur. He can go for a Radiance if he wanted to, and I'm pretty sure he'd have an incredible impact. But the Heart just gives him that much more oomph, allows him to just walk up to towers, and they kill themselves pretty much. Already moving in. Smart move not to duel, but also a very, very dumb move to actually go in the first place. Smiley Face trying to save his life, but it's going to be in vain, as he too will die. Now Walk Lost moving around the bend. He find the kill on the Triggered. Seems like not. Bulbasaur and Walk Lost will hang in the top lane. This tower, I mean, it's sweating. It's sweating bullets right now. It knows that there's a storm coming. We'll see if the Radiant can close the deal here, though. Robert is doing his best to try a little bit of base defense, but again, Techie's just is not that style anymore. The Stampede in, and Triggered is now in a lot of trouble. We've got the Freezing Field, and 2 planes, 3 towers will destroy the Radiant side with just 1 press of R. Of course, you know, the rest of his team helps. We've got Lagunitas doing his best to try to return a little bit of damage, but Guardian Angel, Pipe, and Crimson Guard will be sure that no damage is had, as, well, Smiley Face attempts the swap into the tier 4 towers, but it's not quite enough damage. Robert will buy back, looking to try to get a little bit more than what they have, but they cannot seem to close any gaps within the damage range. Robert, he'll go in for the launch, but he's going to go down. Bulbasaur now getting caught by the root, but it's not like he's dying at all. Meanwhile, the duel going the way of Paradox. Oof. This game went from 0 to 100 really quickly. Triggered will go in for this damage. Another play trying to bring Walk Lost under the tier 4 towers, but they're just killing themselves. Moriarty, he wants this duel off, but he can't seem to find it. He doesn't have duel, it's on cooldown. That explains a lot, actually. Hook back catches the bear, and oh man. Bottom tier 3 tower is taking a bit of damage, maybe a silver lining for the Dire team. Lagunita is chasing a lot. Moriarty gets the duel now onto the Crystal Maiden. Can they finally get a duel when the pipe's out? They don't get it, but they get the kill. Lagunita is getting chased down now by Paradox as he's taken quite a bit of damage. Wait a second, what happened to the Radiant team? They're all dead. Well, aside from the Centaur, but God, that's impressive. Okay. So a tier 1 will go down. A tier 2 actually might be short to follow. There are 2 buybacks ready and 9 seconds left on the Weaver. Man, this is a very friendly game. The tier 2 will drop. The hook back. Bulbasaur getting caught. Oh, that came close. A swap back. Do they have a duel? They are going to pop it, but it's going to go very south very quickly as Bulbasaur getting the duel win out. Lagunita is moving in, though. The Roar will send them all back after the Stampede, but Nick Jr. is now back behind the lines. 3 plane 2 towers is also doing quite a bit of work. The Remote Mine will bring down the Crystal Maiden, but now the Dire all suffering the fate of being brought down. The deny from the Techies. The Courier could be in a bit of trouble. It's got a gem. It actually picks up the gem that it seemed like they may have lost in that fray. Oh boy. This is one of those games where I'm 98.72% sure that the Radiant just win this game. But there's always that nagging feeling that something's going to happen. The Dire's going to do something fantastic and things are going to go the other way. But maybe not. The tier 2 mid will go down. The Rack's very short to follow. And what has been an incredibly back and forth game looks to come closer and closer to an end. Smileyface will move around looking to try to stop this incredibly aggressive push. Can they get a swap? Can they get anything? Robert doing what he can, but can't even find a single target to hit with his launch or his Yules or anything for that matter. The hook out, just barely tickling the tail of Nick Jr., but not latching on. It's like me every time I go fishing. Purify out, Repel, Paradox is untouchable. Aside from a swap, but that would have been a 300 unit swap. Not worth it at all. Hook out, grabs a creep. Easy farm. Not exactly, because he can't farm his own creeps. Sometimes I confuse myself even. Plenty of remote mines in the bottom lane. The only lane they've got to defend, so, I mean, there's a bit of a silver lining for you. Walk loss, walking over a couple of landmines. Now the remotes will pop, but he takes absolutely no damage from that. Okay, only 1 remote mine pop. There is going to be the stun, the stasis trap. It roots him. Enough for a hook that's just south. Again, tickling the tail of the Centaur. The Repel keeping him free of remote mine damage as triggered now. Crawling back. They've got the Guardian Angel. These racks are dropping. They need to make a move, but they can't do it. Bulbasaur getting hit now by the Dismember. Can they get this Weaver? It looks like they don't quite have the damage for it. Bulbasaur actually gets the duel win in the middle of 3 heroes. 2 planes, 3 towers now moves back, gets the kill. And the racks will go down. The last attempt at a defense from the Dire, falling flat on his face. And the Radiant might not even have to worry about suffering Mega Creeps because it looks like they're going to lose this game rather soon. Giving up a little bit of a fight. The hook back. They grab the kill on 2 planes, 3 towers. The Weaver also going down. Dismember on the Omni Knight, and the Savage Roar, they bring down the Omni Knight. Now they pull in Walk Lost, who's in the middle of 4, but it's not enough damage to even touch him, scratch him even, as they bring plenty of heroes down in return. So Walk Lost getting the final tier 4. The rest of them just kind of hitting the Ancient, doing their thing. It's pretty much over at this point, though. Oh boy. Probably plenty of catharsis bringing down a Techies player like that. It's a decent early game for him, too, but... Yo, Weaver, man, don't do that. All right, well, let's check out the scoreboard really quickly, just so that we can get a decent idea of what happened. 40-34. I mean, what a game. So, I don't know. I guess you leave the Centaur to farm up, and all of a sudden runs out with a Crimson Guard and a pipe, and you're pretty much screwed. That's all I can really make of this game. So, with that said, thank you guys for watching. It's been a hell of a game and a hell of a match. Of course, same thing applies. You know, if you want your own replay cast, you can go ahead and send one in. In the meantime, once again, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all for the next replay.